Hi everybody, in this video you're going to see me kind of workshop and build a Tavin episode, but stay tuned to the very end because then I show you how it turned out. Let me know what you think. Thanks.
Hey everybody, Joel Berry here. I'm at the burger shed and I thought I would do some work down here today. And I had a thought, and I don't know if it's a good thought, but first of all, I'm hungry, so I'm probably going to eat, but I may edit out those parts because nobody wants to watch somebody else eat, right? So, but I thought that maybe it would be interesting for people to see like behind the scenes, because I've got to do this anyway. I'm, shoot Tavin stuff, and I thought, well, what if you see the process? So how does it all start? I was at a concert the other night, and I was scratching my head because it itched, and I thought about medicated shampoo, and so sometimes that's the start of an episode. So I just wrote medicated shampoo down here because I think that could be an idea for a Tavin episode, right? Man, I'm hungry. I'll cut a lot of this stuff out. I think it's just a good burger. So I wrote medicated shampoo here, and because part of the reason I'm doing this is because people have asked, do you just make this up or do you write it down? And the answer is both. The more details in the story, the more I want to write down, and the stronger it is. And it seems to go with how many times you shoot something. Sometimes things are one take, but not all the time. Medicated shampoo. So now I want to think, okay, what about it? And then who's Tavin hanging with? So I am going to say Mort Dwidell. He's a fun guy to hang out with. And then Tavin and Mort mostly hang out at the burger shed or the softball fields. And part of me wants to say, let's put them somewhere else. But then I think, kind of in my experience, the audience doesn't care. Like, they don't care that Mort's always at those two places only. So why overthink this? So it's going to be Mort and Tavin at the burger shed. I don't know why I'm writing this down. I usually don't write down that. I write down whatever Tavin's saying. So, medicated shampoo. So, Mort, you want to find the beginning, middle, and end. Sometimes if you find you get to the end, there is something that's helpful with the audience if you have referred to something that was mentioned in the beginning. It's kind of like I just took you on a journey and I brought you home, and you reward the audience with that, and hopefully they reward you by saying, I got that, or, that worked or whatever. So, I don't know what the beginning, middle, and end is, except that, let's say, Tavin comes into the burger shed, Mort Dwidell sitting there. So, Tavin would say this, so I have to write it first person. I seen Mort Dwidell down at the burger shed. And again, I don't always write every single word out, but sometimes I do, and then I try to nail it as much as I can. Obviously, I try to do them all in one take on TikTok. I seen Mort Dwidell down at the burger shed today. He was scratching his head. So that sets up that, where this is going to... He was scratching his head, and what would Tavin do once he sees that? And I thought maybe I shouldn't sit down, right? But he seen me, and he waved me over with the hand that wasn't scratching his head. No thank you on the pickles. No thank you. If there's something Tavin doesn't like, it's because Joel probably doesn't like it. So that's the setup. I seen Mort Dwidell down at the burger shed today. He was scratching his head, and I thought maybe I shouldn't sit down, but he seen me and he waved me over with the hand that wasn't scratching his head. So in a story like this, I have to decide how sideways I'm going to take it. And I'm going to stay pretty focused on it because I want it to be short and quick. And so there will be details, but they'll mostly pertain to Mort's head. Tab would say, like, you okay, Mort? Kind of gross. Mort would say. I was sitting here thinking that I'm scratching my head a lot lately. But I had my wife check for lice with them toothpicks. I don't know if you ever had your head lice checked in elementary school. But I did, and they'd always use toothpicks to see if you had head lice, and then they'd send you home if you had them. Hi, Bacon. And then Tavin will comment that Mort was saying that a little too loud. So Tavin says, how about shampoo? Ain't there shampoo that'll fix it? Well, Mort got all wide-eyed. Like, so now it's like a metaphor, like a comparison. Mort got wide-eyed like what? Like Tavin solved what? You know, world hunger, maybe something more local. Mort got all wide-eyed like I solved the mystery of who was hiding. What would somebody hide in front of Rickard's grocery store under the vending machine? NASCAR picture frames. Because you want something that's like, might be valuable to somebody, but not to everybody, and kind of random. I think that's funny. Who was hiding NASCAR picture frames underneath the vending machine out in front of Rickard's grocery store? So that's like the only tangent I feel like we're going to take in this episode, is that, where I do this comparison and then come back. Now we're going to go to Mort's problem's about to get solved. So Mort said, do tell, Tavin. And I just told him, medicated shampoo, dry scalp, dandruff, you name it. And he says, does it work? Tavin would shrug. Oh, commercial says so. Mort's like, I don't know if it's going to be strong enough for my, it is a pretty powerful itch. Mort scratches his head again. I could smell it too. So now it's like, dude, Mort's really going for it, and it's grossing out Tavin. I dry heaved a little bit. At least that shampoo would deaden that stink a little bit. And then Mort says, because Mort always, it's like, he just takes him a minute to circle back to reality. Mort says, I don't want to spend that kind of money if it don't work, right? What we're doing here is we're just progressing the story. That it starts with an idea, and then we see how it's presented, you know, through like organic conversation to Tavin, but then how it's affecting people around it. And there's this progress of Mort getting more information about how his problem could get solved, Mort reacting to that information, Tavin reacting to Mort, people in the burger shed reacting to both of them. And so there's this build, and then now we got to land this plane, get out of this episode. So more folks was getting grossed out, including me, says Tavin. So Tavin says, you need to get something done, because it ain't working, you know, whatever you're doing now, kind of thing. Mort shrugs. He hopes it's strong enough, and I think it's funny if Tavin takes it to the veterinary. Like, he's like, well, maybe check in with Mary Beth Tucker at the veterinary, because that's where they gotta have some itchy horses down there. Mort liked that idea and said, I may trot over there right now. It's a horse reference, trotting. And then Tavin says, he took off and I stayed to eat, but I had to move booths. And Misty Fizdale, she's a teenager that works at the burger shed. Misty Fizdale came over and wiped down that booth. Okay. So the way I ended it is that Misty Fizdale, Tavin moves booths because of what Mort did, scratching his head at their booth. Mort leaves to go get, horse shampoo. And then Misty Fizdale comes over to wipe their booth. So I ended on Misty Fizdale. So now I'm going to back up and say, I need Tavin to plant something at the beginning that's going to make that line stronger and have more impact at the end. So, how do we... Man, I wrote a lot here. This is longer than I wanted it to be. Okay. I'm just going to explain Misty Fizdale. Heading into the burger shed, Misty Fizdale held the door for me, for Tavin. And then he explains it. She's 16-year-old. She's wild-eye. Ain't cross-eye. She's wild-eye, one of the best sharpshooters in the county. And then I went in. Then we go into the story, and then we come back at the very end, and that little plant about Misty Fizdale comes back because she's got a keen eye. She saw how gross Mort was at the table, and he wiped her table down. So that's the plan for this episode. Is it going to be funny? I don't know. Does it work? I don't know. But this is my process of how kind of a lot of Tavin episodes, ideas come together. So now I'm going to go shoot this, and then I'm going to roll the final product at the end of this video, and you'll see the process from kind of concept, the early stages to completion.
I do not like being grossed out during the middle of mealtime. How about you? Mr. Fizdale opened the door for me at the burger shed today. She worked there. She's a 16-year-old redheaded gal, kind of wild-eyed. She got one eye just kind of go like this away, but she got great eyesight. Keen, sharp shooter. One of the sharpest shooters in the county. She got keen eyesight, and she let me in there. I see Mort Dwydell over at the booth scratching his head like this away. With his extra hand, he make eye contact with me. He waved me over. Come on over here, Tavin. I was like, Mort, what are you doing in the middle of lunch hour just scratching your head so violently? It's gross. I slide across from him. He's about done. He's about to leave anyhow. He goes, Tavin, it ain't never itched this hard. It ain't never itched this bad before. I had my wife check for head lice this week with them toothpicks. It ain't that. And I was like, well, what about medicated shampoo? They got that. And then his eyes got all wide, like I solved the mystery of who's hiding a NASCAR picture frames underneath the vending machines out in front of Rickard's grocery store. And he said, do tell, Tavin. I was like, well, they got like dandruff shampoo, like itchy, dry scalp, like anything going on with your head, like they got a name for it and they put it in the shampoo. And he's like, does it work? I was like, well, the commercials say it do. He goes, well, it ain't never itched like it. And he itch again. It's as close as I've been to the itch. And this smell just washed over me. I was like, Mort, even if it don't stop the itch and the shampoo is going to deaden that stink a little bit, that's too much kind of thing. And he's like, I just don't want to pay high dollar for something if it don't work. And then I got this idea. I was like, Mort, Mary Beth Tucker works at the veterinary. I bet they got itchy horses down there. I bet you go down there and see if they got a medicated horse shampoo that might deaden whatever's going on your head right now. Because people about to leave with their food early in the burger shed because you grossing everybody out. He's like, horse shampoo? He goes, I may trot over there right now. And he took off kind of thing. And I stayed to eat my lunch, but I had to move booths. I didn't want that dry, itchy, flaky, every head scratching stuff that Mort left behind. And sure enough, Misty Fizdale came over. She wiped down his table. She got a keen eye. I appreciate that.
You can let me know what you think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share these videos. I sure appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. See y'all later.